Hi, my name is Umar, and today I'm going to do a quick implementation of a design. I'm on at dribble.com and I'm looking at Mackenzie Chow's portfolio. He's a designer developer, and I consider him one of my teachers. Now, he did a series called Design a Day, where he created a redesign of existing websites and various other designs every day. Now, what I'm going to do is take one of his designs and I'm going to code it. So I'll go ahead and I'll choose a design. I think this app looks pretty cool. It's not the best app design on Dribble, but I'm choosing to sort of stick with Mackenzie's designs. I was thinking of doing this in Sublime, but I'm now reconsidering it and thinking of doing it in Codepen. So I'm going to go to codepen.io/Umar Hamza. I'm just going to go new. I'll just select a new pen. What am I going to call this? He's called this a smart thermostat. Cool. So I'm going to code this in Jade. You can code this in HTML. The only difference between Jade and HTML is that if, for instance, I want to do like a class of wrapper with a UL of list and then an li of item, then in HTML it will look like this. So I'll just say like that, you know. But in Jade, if we were coding it, it would look similar to how I was writing the shorthand Emmet code. So you'll have something like this, and then you'd have the wrapper, you have ul dot list, and in there you'll have li dot item, and in there you'll have the word item in it. So that's how Jade works, and I'll show you how that'll look in HTML once it's processed. So I'll click on setting in Sublime, and I'll choose Jade, and then I can get rid of this HTML here. And now, when I view compiled, it actually gets compiled into HTML. So this is just a very simple and easy way to write HTML, but in Jade format. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And then I've got my CSS set to Sass, and that's also similar to Jade as well, the way you code it. I've got my reset and auto prefixer in my setting. So the same thing goes for Sass with CSS. Like for instance, if I was to do div like that, you know, I could say display block, but in Sass you just do div, and then you do display block like that. Instead, you'd remove the curly braces. And I've got plain old JavaScript. I don't think I'll be doing any JavaScript in this tutorial. So let's go ahead and start doing something. To start with, I'm actually going to do this this part at the top. Should I do 3 list items, or should I do 3 divs and then float them? Not entirely sure. So let's start anyway. So I'm going to have a wrapper, and then in the wrapper I'm going to have something called, because you'd call this like the notification bar, right? At the top. I think that's what it's called, notification bar. Inside of the notification bar, we're going to have 3 divs. So I'll say div dot call 3, and I'll do 3 of them. Something's telling me that I should have them as a list, as an li. I'll just have a line left here. I'll have a line right, and actually I'll have L align. I'll call it L align because I'm writing in smacks, so I'll have to sort of compartmentalize my SAS into different sections. So we'll have layout, L stands for layout, and we'll have modules and other styles. So I'll explain as we go along. So here we have about 5 circles, child, sort of bar here. So inside of my column, I'm going to have a UL. I'll just call it list. Inside of that, we have an LI, but we have 3 LIs, and we'll have them call item. And then this is like Inception now, because I'm creating another list in order to create these 5 dots. I'm creating another list, so we call it horizontal list again. We can say times 5, and then 3 of those will be highlighted. Sorry, the spelling is wrong. Highlighted. Cool. So that's that, and then here we're gonna have the word child. Oh yeah, so we don't need those gaps. Just need the word child. I mean, I could wrap it in a paragraph. I prefer a span actually. There's something called divitis when you sort of wrap your divs like too many times. I'm just wondering if I'm getting divitis. So, and then lastly we have this sort of signal bar, and I'm just gonna have a span really, or an I, and dot fa signal bar. I'm assuming, and there's a reason why I'm using FA, because I'll be importing font awesome. This is a repository for a lot of like the frameworks that are out there. You can find a lot of stuff. So like font awesome, you're definitely gonna find that. See if I click on that. There's like other stuff as well that you can find here, but you can choose to go through that in your own time. I'll choose the minified version just because I want it to load quicker, and then I'll just paste in here. Save that. So another thing that I need to do, I actually do need to go to the Font Awesome website just to make sure I'm doing the signal bar. I'm actually calling the right class, because this is FA signal bar, and I'm just wondering if it's spelled correctly or. So I'll go on the Font Awesome website, which you can see in the URL, and I'll click on icons up here, and I'll just type in signal. Just search for the. Well, this is the only signal bar I've got, so if I click on it, it'll tell me what class I need to use. I need to use FA signal. So it's not signal bar that I'm looking for, it's just signal. And it should pop in. There you go, there it is. Excellent stuff. Cool. Now we are going to work on this centered time. If you were using PHP, we could add that easily with PHP, and the time will actually sort of count up. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're not. So I'm going to add a span, and I'm going to add 5:52 p.m. And lastly, we want 3 lists items again, but we want like this to be a sort of. So I'm going to go UL dot horizontal list, the horizontal list, and then we have li. Sorry, I can do li dot item times 3. The first one is going to be a Bluetooth icon, so I want I dot fa Bluetooth dash B for the cool Bluetooth icon, and then in the second one we have, oh actually we don't need 3, we just need 2, so we have 100%. I'm just going to do 100%, and then I'm going to do I.fa.fa battery. Cool, so this should work. I think I've got something wrong, so I'm just going to indent that, and that should work. Cool, we have a battery. Excellent stuff. Let's quickly style everything. You know, like, why not? Why not style everything? So if we, because we've got a reset, and it's quite, I'm using quite a harsh reset because I'm using this reset here, and I forgot who's it by, but it doesn't matter. I think everything's reset well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 320 or 640 width container. So I'm going to do dot wrapper. I'll do max width 640. I'll do W width 100% just because. I'll do margin 0 auto. So basically, I'm gonna add a border, right? I'm gonna add a border just because I want to know like where the end of my container is. Okay, I think that's fine. But now I can add some padding. I can add padding like 30 pixels, I think. 30 pixels might be too much. That's half that. 15 is pretty good. That should work fine. Okay, so notice that I'm having all of these styles grouped in one, and I have my border down here. It's not just because it's a temporary style I'm adding. It's because I'm using Smax and BEM. And basically Smax says that we have all our positioning styles, all the styles in the box model and positioning as well is going to be in one block. Border is also in it, like borders and other styles are going to be one block. Text, typography is all in one block as well. So anyway, as we go along, you'll understand a bit more about that. So let's continue. My notification bar, I don't really need anything there. I'm just going to add some like classes, like I have the ClearFix class. So this is going to be like just a utility class. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to say. So yeah, so I'm going to clear both, and then I'm doing content nothing. Okay, so actually that should be together. Cool. So now if I was to add a ClearFix class to the notification, if I float anything within the notification bar, it won't sort of break that. It wouldn't break the container, if that makes sense. But I don't think I'll be floating anything anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say this dot col3. I'm going to say display line block. Even though like I could float them, I might choose to float them at some point, but for now I'm just going to do display line block. And then I'm going to do width. I'm going to have width as a percentage. So it'll be 33.333%. There's something wrong here. What if I did f 0 and then do this? Still nothing. Okay, let's try and float this and see how it goes. Okay, that's acting better. What else can I do? 33%. I I think that works quite well. Okay, so I think it's just these that need to be floating the horizontal text. So I don't need to change that font, and I don't need these. So sometimes you just gotta experiment with a few things just to make sure that it works properly. So I've got my column. Then I need also here. I think I still have some margin as well here. So we're gonna go with margin 5 pixels, and then we're gonna have the last child. We're gonna have margin right of 0. Okay, and I'm gonna add the float back in there. Cool. Maybe we should just have 33%. Let's see if that will still work. 32%, and we still, so we have the float now. Cool. We have align, and then I'll just do align text right. So what I'm trying to do is build utility classes for like for all of my divs. So it's just easy to swap the classes out and add styles. It's sort of like a bootstrap style thing, but this is to do with smacks, and basically we're just reusing classes like bootstrap would. So an align right, we'll have here FLR, so we'll float that right, and then an align center, but we'll also align left as well. So that should do it. And then last but not least, we're gonna have L align, or is it just align text right? Yeah, align text right, and we'll have text align right. Cool. That's looking really nice. And then I've just totally forgotten an align center. Now align center is going to have TAC. Cool. So that's working cool. Now we need to have our horizontal list. We need to have display inline block. Oops, horizontal list. Oh, the item. Okay, so normally you shouldn't really have, like, you shouldn't have classes like this where you have a class and then you're referring to the child of a parent class, because that way your browser has to look for two classes. Browser has to look for the horizontal class, and then it has to look for the item. But I mean, that takes like maybe like, I don't know, maybe like a millisecond or something. So it's really quick, but it does take more time if you are adding two classes as opposed to adding one. It's just something to think about. I mean, normally what I would do was I would have horizontal class underscore item, so that we can denote that this item belongs to the horizontal list. That makes sense. But in this case, I'll leave it as it is. We need those circles. Signal strength. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And then we have an item. Oh no, that's not what I needed. Oh yeah, because that's for that, and then this is the UL. Okay, yeah, for the signal strength. Cool. And then, so in this case, now I'm going to demonstrate the underscore item what I was referring to. So here I have signal strength underscore item. So that denotes that it's a child of the class signal strength, if that makes sense. And then here I'll do the same thing. I'll do underscore. I'm going to have to do it for all of them. Easy way for me to do that, I can control and click, and I select more than one line, and then I can write in more than one line, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'll write signal strength underscore underscore item. I'll do width, like, let's say 5 pixels for now. And then I'll do a height of 5 pixels. I'll do a background color. I always like to do the full thing, as opposed to using black background and having it black. And then I'll have border radius 100%. And I'm surprised because there should be a horizontal list. Oh yeah. If I also add a class of item, I know this can look a bit messy because I have like a lot of classes using BEM with this underscore underscore thing, but it just makes it so much easier because look, I've just added item. I didn't have to write another load of styles, so kind of works in my favor there. These need to be a bit larger, so maybe like 15 pixels perhaps. It's a bit too large, maybe like 10, 9, 8. Cool, that's looking great. I think child needs to be styled, so I'll call this network, like network let's call it sim network, because I ain't got a good name for this. Oh yeah, because all of these need, the background shouldn't be black. So I'll say border 1 pixel solid black, and then I'm gonna have, if you use the and, it means the class, it's just referring to the class that that it's nested in. So basically what this is going to be passed as, it will be passed as signal strength underscore underscore item dot highlight. That makes sense. So it's just basically stringing things together, and then here I can paste in the background color. So the highlighted classes should go black. So cool. And they've automatically added the margin between them, which is always good. Line block. Oh yeah, so I think they've automatically added the space. It's a font thing with the lists. Well, because it works for me, I am going to leave it, or maybe not. So yeah, I'm going to do the same thing that I did before, where I string the class together. So I can basically now style the UL. So what I'm doing now is I'm styling this, and then when I add and, it basically says the signal strength class, and then also add underscore underscore item underneath it, which refers to these LIs, if that makes sense. It's quite complicated. So now that I've said I've added font size 0, that's sort of removed the gaps between them. And then on each item I can add in margin right. Let's add 5 pixels. And I'm only doing this because I'm just afraid that maybe like on another browser it wouldn't work properly. Like the gaps would probably be removed if I didn't sort of normalize the font there. Maybe 5 pixels is a bit too much, like 3 pixels or something. And then let's save that. I mean, it doesn't look fantastic, but whatever, we're all good. So I have here sim network. So let's work on that now. .sim network. Then here I'm going to have font size. I like to use rems, but this time I'm just going to use pixels because I just don't feel comfortable with it. I'm going to use the body selector. I'm just going to create a font family. Cool, looks better, way better. Okay, cool. So we're on a roll here. So our signal strength, oh yes, so sim network, and I want text transform uppercase. Cool. And then I want margin. I want 0 and then 10. Sorry, 0, 10. Dot FA signal on a font size of 14 pixels. Maybe a bit larger, like 18. And then here we have the time. So I'll just call it time for now because I can't be bothered to call it anything else. Dot time. We do F, Z. We'll do 25 pixels. And then I'll do FWB. I'll do font weight bold. Maybe let's keep it at 20 pixels then. 22. Cool. Percentage. Because I don't want to type it again, I'll just copy this class. And you know what? This can be the same. So these two will be the same. And I added a margin here, but for some reason it isn't computing. Oh, sorry, margin. Maybe it's because this should have been an LI. Yep, there you go. That works. And then this has a font size of 18. So what I'm going to do is have FA Bluetooth minus B, and also the FA battery 3/4 as well. That's going to be 18 pixels with this. So all the icons are grouped together. So if I change one property, then all of them change. Cool. So let's carry on. We have this menu bar. We have this. So this also, I would say, there are 3 columns. Let's go back to our HTML now. We have 3 columns, but it's in our wrapper though, right? So we got to start from here. Col. As I think with Jade is like sort of judging your indentation. So we have col 3 inside those columns. We have let's call it a span. I don't like using divs if I don't have to, but in this case, let's just think here. I'm not going to use a button either. Let's just use a div. So it will be dot button or dot menu button instead. I think that's what we need actually. It's a class of dot menu button, and then in another column, oh yeah, we'll L align left, and also this one will L align left as well. We'll L align both of them left, right? And then I'm also going to L align center. Now this might seem a little bit funny, and because of that, I'm going to have L align center in a paragraph. And what was the title here? I need to actually wrap these columns in a row. So I'll go ahead and I'll say dot row, but now I'll indent this so that it's inside of the row. I'll also add a clefix because we're floating elements within it. And let's start coding some stuff. let's call this title. Let's start with the menu button. I mean, like for now, I'm just gonna code it as it is. Like I'm not gonna think about any animations or anything like that. So I think for now this works for me. I'll do width of, let's start with 50 pixels. I'll do a height of 5 pixels. So what I'm doing is I'm actually creating this, like these ones. So before and after, you know, then that'll be the button. How about we just do this? And I think we're allowed to do this, by the way. Dot menu icon. They're both going to be like the same color, so actually no, I wouldn't do a color for them because the color is going to be grouped with the menu color, and so will the height be the same. What if I did something like this, and then this would be weird, wouldn't it? After, and I did this before. So sometimes I get really obsessive with sort of not repeating like the same properties, like height. So I want all the heights to be the same, and then here, like I can have like a background color of white. For now, I'll have it red just so I can see what it looks like. Fantastic. I'm going to position absolute them. I'm going to position absolute these ones actually. And then this is going to be position relative. You see how that looks? And then this is going to have a width as well. This will probably like 25, be half of that width. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to make the top one -5 pixels, and then the bottom, sorry, after this is going to be bottom actually, sorry. Minus, I guess. And then the before. There we go. I think 10 pixels maybe. Cool. And let's make this 35. So you can see how it's shaping up, right? I need the border radius. So we're gonna have border radius. Let's have like 5 pixels. Let's try 100 pixels. I just can't see them rounding. It's really weird. So now let's move on to the title. So FZ 35 pixels. Oh yeah, that is text from uppercase. Color is white. Not for now. It'll be white later. So that'll be the end of part 1. So I'm going to do these videos in a couple of series. So I'll split them up into several parts. So this was part 1. Check out part 2. The link's going to be in the description. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Peace.